everyone. This is Yasmin Anal, founder of Amplify Your Dreams. And I'm here today with Saiyyidah Zaidi. So excited to be here. And we're going to be talking all about abundance. And I'm so happy to see so many people joining in. So we're going to get started very soon. Saiyyidah, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today?
I'm really good, thank you, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, doing well. So just, we have a bunch of people signing up right now. I see them coming in, and we're just starting. So it's great that we're here on time and it's rolling. Thank you so much for accepting to do this webinar with me to be interviewed. I know that you're very busy right now with the Abundance Academy and, with everything that's going on. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, and for the audience that who may not know you. Obviously, people are here; they're excited to learn about Abundance Academy and how it can help transform their lives. So, I would love for you to share with us how and why you started this.
It's a very long question because I suppose the thing is it kind of takes me back to when I was young, and I know that anyone who's heard me speak before will know the story of when I was young. My mum always used to say to me, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I never really had an answer. I never knew what I wanted to do for my career, except for the fact that I wanted to be happy. And so my response would always just be simply that, I want to be happy. And then, if you're listening in, you know how hard that is. And so you go through your teenage phase where it's, a bunch of different emotions, and, a lot of the time you don't really know what's going on. And then in your 20s, you feel completely invincible. And then in your 30s, you start to go back and you think, actually, what is all of this about? How can I actually improve my life? What is my purpose, etc.? And it took me back to those questions when I was younger, and it just made me realize that, for many of us, this is what our life is about. It's really about a search for happiness and for contentment. And then in the work that I'm doing as a positive psychologist, I've been researching, what does it mean to thrive? What does it mean to live abundantly and to be successful? And I really feel that one of the things that I'm trying to advocate is a redefinition of success, where success is not only just about your career and about having a huge amount of money in the bank and having a nice house and all this. It's actually much deeper than that, and it's more about experiences and doing things that you enjoy. And I think that certainly the biggest challenge for me was the hustle and bustle of it all, because in my early 30s, mashallah, my career started to excel, and eventually I became one of the youngest directors in local government. And it's awesome to have achieved that, but then the challenge that goes with that is that you are, especially you've got young kids, I had a husband, I've got family, I've got all of these other commitments. And then if I'm leaving the house before 7 and I'm coming back after 7, you kind of really want to reevaluate what's going on in your life and thinking, what is this? Mashallah, I said before in other videos that I've made for Abundance Academy, that I had a $160,000 a year job, and subhanallah, I couldn't ask for anything. If I wanted to get something, if my kids wanted something, no, I wouldn't spoil them or anything, but it wasn't an issue. Yes. But there was something that was missing, and I think that was the thing that has really driven me to the journey that I've been on. And I've spent crazy amounts of money and a huge amount of time and thought and search to work out what does it really mean to be abundant and to be wealthy and to be happy. And so what really sparked me off into putting together this program was the need that I can see within the ummah and within the community for us to actually really understand how we can live that abundant life. How is it that we can manifest wealth and happiness and total time freedom? Because, you know, when we look at the hadith of 5 before 5, you know, we're told to take advantage of our youth before we're old. And, you know, how many of us really do that? You know, it probably is so few people. And yet, you know, here I am, and I look back to the things that I did in my own youth, and I'm thinking so much of that time was wasted. But then at the same time, you know, as Muslims, mashallah, we should have no regrets. And so, you know, we've learned things through the journey that we've been on. But it's also, how do you define youth? You know, I believe that as Muslims, you know, we are young until we're 40, which is pretty awesome. So let's then think about what does that really mean, and how many of us are actually taking advantage of the fact that we have that energy and vitality and ability to really flourish when we are in the youth stage of our life.
Absolutely. I love it. I love what you just, I mean, so many things that you spoke about, I can relate to myself. And it's just, you know, first of all, the fact that, you know, you highlighted the definition of abundance, you know, in Arabic is barakah, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think it's very important for us as Muslims to have an abundant mindset and not have this, you know, mindset of lack and mindset of poverty. And I would like for you to address that, because I know that this is something that comes up often. You know, how do you address this within the Muslim community? I mean, because sometimes there is that mindset of lack, and people just cannot get out of it. So is this something you address in your course in the Abundance Academy?
It is going to be something that we cover, but I think I suppose one of the clear messages that I want to give is that, you know, Abundance Academy is not just about wealth, and it's not just about looking at manifesting that part in your life. It's actually looking about everything in a holistic manner. And so for me, I completely agree, you know, and the reason I'm talking about wealth is because I do believe that for some Muslims there is a very strong poverty mindset. And, you know, I don't know where it comes from, because subhanAllah, when you look at the stories of the Sahaba and you look at some of the early Muslims, I mean, Imam Malik, for example, you know, he would change his clothes like every single day, you know, and I'm not talking about changing, getting clean, I'm talking about changing new. So there is a history within Islamic scholarship of people who have been incredibly wealthy. You know, and we look at the example of Abu Bakr, subhanAllah, you know, not only one of the most humble men in the world, but also one of the most generous. And why is it that we're missing that? And I think that, you know, some of it really does come from being the you know, second or third generation immigrants in a country, because, you know, when your family move to a completely different life, there are going to be issues and times when there isn't much money around, but then that impacts future generations. And what we need to do is, if you are in that mindset, it's about shifting it and changing it, because this is the opportunity that you have to make that change, to prevent future generations from continuing that baggage of the poverty mindset. Because, and I find it very, very upsetting, to be perfectly honest, because we have no need to be like that. You know, Islam encourages us to earn halal. Islam also encourages us to spend within our means. So, for example, you know, if you're a millionaire and you want to wear designer labels and go on 5-star holidays, it's no issue, because you're living within your means. But if you've got hardly any money and, you know, you're kind of struggling to put food on the table and you aspire for that, then that's not really living within your means. So it's just about finding what is the right kind of lifestyle for the life that you're leading. And actually, you know, if you want to have more wealth in the kind of financial sense, I really don't think that's an issue. It's just you've got to make sure that you check yourself constantly and keep yourself humble, and make sure that you put your barakah in that wealth by not just giving zakat, but by also giving sadaqah as well, you know, and by continually thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because, you know, you can work really, really hard and you can get absolutely nothing, But the minute that you start ask Allah for help, it can just turn it around, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think I want to go into the idea of like, what is it that Abundance Academy teaches? Because I know this is like an amazing online course, which is why I'm promoting it, obviously. And I'm encouraging my viewers, my listeners, my followers to sign up because I believe in the mission. I believe in what you have prepared and put into this course. So why don't you walk us through exactly what you're covering in this course so that the listeners have a better idea of what it entails?
Yeah, absolutely. So the program, I mean, there's some free training that is available, and you know, inshallah, Yasmin, if you've not seen the free training, then Yasmin can direct you to where you can get access to 3 videos that were filmed in Rome, London, and in Cairo. And the whole reason behind those is to really just kind of provide some good, awesome content to get people started. And so my personal journey started with my 5-year plan, and I'm not going to go into all of the detail now because you can get access to the videos and you can go there. But once you've been through that and you've kind of got your 5-year plan, you know the right questions to ask yourself, and you know how to kind of start to structure what your priorities are, then how do you take yourself to the next level? And that's something that I'm very, very keen to do. And that really is the essence of Abundance Academy. So in the first week, what we do is we do a number of different assessments. You know, it's easy for us to think about the kind of learning that we're doing, the journey that we're going on, but to be perfectly honest, if you don't know where you're starting from, how do you actually assess where you're going to? And a lot of the assessments and the interventions that we're going to be doing actually come from a positive psychology foundation, and they have, you know, I'm going to be teaching some lovely neuroscience kind of tricks and stuff so that you can really understand exactly where you are right now. Then once we've done that, and often what that does is that doing these assessments, you know, it really does give you some food for thought, and you sometimes people get emotional, sometimes people start thinking about, you know, how is it that they've actually got themselves in this situation, and for me that's good, because what I want to happen is for everybody who's going through that to actually understand, you know, where is their life now. So to do that assessment is incredibly important.
Yes.
Then in week 2, we move on to vitality and energy, and we start to touch on your psychology, because I think for me, you know, the one of the really important bits in this is understanding, you know, what is the purpose of what you're doing, what is the thing that actually drives you. So where is your energy and vitality coming from, and how can you actually increase that? Because if you don't know what your purpose is, what's driving you, what is actually, you know, what is it that you want to achieve, then I think there's no point in talking about wealth or happiness or time freedom. And
Absolutely.
you know, yeah, and I really do want to spend some time getting us to a point when we're talking about also understanding what does manifesting mean, what does abundance mean, so that we actually then go through this journey from the foundation level. You know, I've seen other programs where they take you straight in and you just start talking about you know, wealth and happiness and time management and things, and sometimes it just freaks me out, because I think, you know, if you don't start at foundation level, how can you actually get someone to just jump into the sea when they don't know how to swim? And I don't want that for any of my students, because when I've done that in the past, it's taken me a few years to correct myself.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's kind of that's going to happen in week 2. So week 2 is very much about understanding, you know, how can you take advantage of the vitality and the energy that you have, and really create some space for the rest of the program. Then we're going to go on to looking at how we can actually manifest wealth. And for me, it's an incredibly important kind of element of all of this, because I don't want people just to think that, you know, Abundance Academy is just about how you can bring more money into your life. And so we are also going to redefine wealth, you know, because you can have all of the money in the world and you can still feel as if you have nothing, yet at the same time you can have very little and feel as if you own the world, you know.
Absolutely.
And I think what often happens is that people don't take time to really express gratitude at a deep level. I mean, subhanAllah, we pray 5 times a day, which is absolutely awesome, mashallah. But I
Yeah.
think what also happens is that when we get caught up in other things, I'm not saying it's superficial, because I don't think anyone can ever say that about the gratitude that they're expressing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I do think that what we need to do is we need to take it to a much deeper level. So we are really, really thinking about the things that we are grateful for on a much, much more regular basis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is already 3 weeks, right?
So
So
yeah.
far. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we're going to really kind of go into looking at our psychology, and there's some, as a positive psychologist, as an expert growth coach, what I'm going to teach are tricks and shortcuts. I don't want to start people at foundation level and then just kind of leave them halfway. I'm going to teach the best stuff and things that I know have an immediate impact. So that is where we'll really start to then work on kind of finances and bringing everything together in terms of wealth and redefining wealth, so that we're actually looking at it from a thriving, flourishing perspective. Now, one of the most fascinating pieces of research that I've ever come across in my research as a positive psychologist is something that said that, it's, if you have a salary of about $50,000 a year, you have enough to actually fulfill your potential in terms of your well-being. It's just what you do with it, how you then balance it out. And if you want more, then we're going to also be discussing how you can actually manage that, so that you increase your kind of your ability to, what you can do with the resources that you have. And that actually comes in one of the bonuses, because, mashallah, I mean, every time I read it, it always blows me away. And I think, I paid off my $450,000 mortgage, and we saved about 250K in payments. How on earth did that happen? And I share how that happened. And it will be tough at the beginning for some people, but the thing is, you stick at it, you can also do that. And it's things like that that have then enabled me to create the life that I live now, alhamdulillah, with my family, where we can kind of pretty much decide where we want to go, the experiences that we have. And I know that when you're in the corporate workplace, or when you are kind of working from home and you're kind of thinking, how will I ever do this? How will I really become free of some of the things that are holding me in one place? You can do it, and that's really what I want to try and teach. Actually, the whole program is not just about manifesting happiness and wealth and time freedom. It's also about freeing yourself so that you can actually take control of your life and live the life that you want to, rather than the one that kind of society expects you to.
I want to highlight that, Saida, because I think this is like super important. And, for a lot of people, life is just a mediocre cycle, right? You graduate from high school, you go to college because that's the right thing to do. And, you finish college, you go get a job, you get married, you have kids, and, the cycle continues. You go to work, you come home, and you're basically always revolving around the same thing. And this kind of lifestyle does not necessarily give you the freedom to do the things that truly matter to you, right? Like what you were saying, like the fact that you're out of that corporate bubble right now. You're able to be in Cairo right now and memorize the Quran, make sure that your kids are memorizing the Quran, do the things that you probably could not do. I mean, you definitely could not do if you were still working in that corporate job in London, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because I think that, mashallah, in the world that we live in today, I think that we can still do some of these things. It's just, it's a lot tougher and it takes a lot longer. And, I really believe that as Muslims, in fact, every single human being in the world has challenges that they face, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us He will not challenge us more than we can bear, right? But that does not mean that we have that suffering mentality as well, because so many of us, I think, I've been there. I've been at points in my life where I just think, woe is me, my life is so hard, and yet I don't believe that's the life that Muslims should live. I really, really think that if when we take control of our lives and when we actually kind of step up and demand more from life, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds to our call and gives us the things that we want. So that, for example, the challenge of how do I actually get my kids to do their hifz, and how do I get them to grow up as strong, rounded human beings that are great Muslims but also great contributors to society. It doesn't appear as if it's something that's actually unattainable. All of a sudden it becomes in your hand and you can make it happen.
Absolutely. So it's all about taking action, which is something, that I'm big on. Like, knowledge is potential power. We have to act upon the knowledge in order for us to really see results in that. And that brings me to another point. Now, you have this amazing course of Abundance Academy. And I know that, I've received so many Facebook messages, emails from my subscribers asking me about this, especially with the bonuses that I'm offering. I'm not sure if you guys are able to see it, but if you can give me a holler in the chat box, whether you can see the offer. I have this offer for you guys, for those of you who are tuned in, and it should be appeared on your screen, and that should take you to the offer itself. So basically, the bonuses that I'm offering in this webinar while we're talking to Saiyyidah is, if you do decide to sign up for Abundance Academy, I'll be giving you my online course, the Dream Blueprints, which is something that has been amazing. I launched it this January, and a lot of students signed up, and they are having a great time. We just finished the modules, and it's an online course that you will have access for a lifetime. So you will have free access to this Dream Blueprint online course free of charge, which is something that I sold for $297. So you will have access to that. And also, for the first 20 people who actually take up this offer and sign up for the Abundance Academy through this link that you see, this pop-up link, that you will be able to receive coaching from me, which is something that I don't really offer because I don't have the time. Just like Saiyyidah, I'm a busy mom, and also, running my Amplify Your Dreams business and doing speaking engagements and everything. So I really don't have the time to do coaching anymore, like one-on-one or group. But I am making this exception and taking the first 20 people to actually coach. And so this is an amazing opportunity, which is not something that's available anywhere, and it won't be available very long. So do let me know if you see that pop up or not. Okay, I see here someone said no, we can't see. Okay, I'm not sure it is showing, but on my side. Okay, but no worries. What I will do is make sure that it will be sent to you in an email form. So all of you obviously have signed up for this webinar, so I will send an email with that link. That way you can actually, if you go to that link, you will be able to get your offers. You'll be able to redeem your offers. But Saiyyidah, I just have this question that comes from a lot of people. They want to sign up. This is something that is a trend right now. I've received so many messages about this, saying, I really want to join Abundance Academy, but it's too expensive. So I want to hear your thoughts on that.
I know it's a high price, but I tell you, it was an even higher price for me spending $400,000 and 15 years of my life to learn the stuff that I'm going to be sharing in 7 weeks. So if you've got that kind of money and you want to, go through the journey that I have, and you've got 15 years to spare, then go for it. But I know I'm being a bit flippant there, but I do believe that at the end of the day, it's really, really important for us to take our learning and our nourishment and our personal development seriously. And the way that we do that is through investing in programs like this. Because I know that it is out of reach for some. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and one of the reasons I put that in is because I don't want anyone doing this program if they don't believe that it works for them. And so by putting in that guarantee, you get the chance to try it out. You can kind of see where it's going to take you. You can test things out. You will do your assessment week. You will get at least 2 of the modules, maybe 3 or 4 in that time. And if it doesn't work for you, then I have no hesitation. I do not want anyone to feel committed to the program if they think it's not working for them. I only want to take on serious students who are going to do their work, and people who really, really genuinely want to manifest abundance into their life. And if that's what you want to do, then 100% you are absolutely in the right place. And I myself have been having kind of similar messages as well. And I'm saying to students, in fact, subhanAllah, what's awesome is I'm getting messages like, Abundance Academy is the real deal, mashallah, and this is the program that I've been looking for in my whole life. And I look back at my life, 15 years ago, and I think, where was Abundance Academy when I was searching for it then? And the fact that I've had to go on that journey and collate all that information and those sources has brought me to where I am now, where inshallah I am actually able to teach it to other people. And I really, really do believe that it's an absolutely awesome program. And what I'm going to be teaching is what I teach many of my private coaching clients. And I doubt that people who are listening in can afford to work with me one-to-one, or that I've got the capacity to take on the numbers that we're looking at. But it's really, really important for people to take the whole concept of abundance seriously. And again, once you've been through this, then you have everything at your access. You can go through the program again in a couple of years' time and keep renewing things so that you continue to improve and you continue to grow and develop. This is not going to be the only time you go through this program. Certainly for me, as I have been growing, even when I speak about my 5-year plan, I don't just do that every 5 years. I might rewrite it every year, even every 6 months, because we need to continue to grow and just, to keep improving. And so the investment that you make is really, really seriously going to help you to get there and to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for that clarification. Now, the pop-up should be showing up now, guys. So please go ahead and see if you can see it. It should say sign up now to receive Yasmin's bonuses. And then there's a button that says add to cart, where you can actually sign up for the Abundance Academy of Sayyyidah Zaidi. Now, I also want to remind you guys, please, I'm checking the chat box, and there's a bunch of you here, and I'm not seeing any questions from you. I have received a few questions in my email, which is amplifyyourdreams@gmail.com, but feel free to submit your questions. You can actually submit them privately if you don't want your name to show up, or you can submit them public. Okay, so go ahead and do that, because we'll be answering questions. I'll be asking Saiyyidah some questions in a minute. So please enter your questions right now. Now, Saiyyidah, I also want to mention, what you just said, I just want to add something to it, is because, when I started my journey of personal development, and I started, investing in big programs that cost 5 times more than the Abundance Academy, sometimes even more, I realized that if I'm not investing in my personal growth, I would not be able to, grow, obviously. I mean, it's that logical, right? You have to be investing in yourself to see results. And what I always tell my clients, and, tell the people that I work with, and just my viewers in general, is that when you spend your money for something like an online course or an audio program or a seminar or even a book or anything like that, you're actually investing in yourself. You're not spending the money. You know, when you go out and buy a designer bag or designer shoes or, you know, the next amazing electronic gadget, you're actually spending your money and there's no investment in that, you know, because you're not going to see any kind of ROI, in any kind of return of investment. But I know personally, whenever I invested in a course, the investment that I have received, not necessarily financial return, but it was return in so many ways, you know, of being able to do certain things in my life. If I didn't take those courses, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, and I just want to remind people, you know, it might look like a lot of money, but when you really put it in the grand scheme of things, it's going to, you know, you're going to just realize that, you know, it's a huge investment that you're making in yourself, and it's going to pay off tenfold in years to come. And sometimes
I think it will pay. I'm sorry to cut in, but I think it's going to pay back much more than tenfold, because, you know, look at the bonuses that are being offered. And so, for example, even just the bonus, how to get a promotion at work. You know, if someone increases their salary at work and they can get training from work, because that's one of the things that I'm going to be speaking about. How do you get your work to actually invest into you? If you do that and you implement that bonus, you know, it's going to pay for itself in maybe a few months.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you're amazing. You're offering some amazing bonuses. And of course, if people take advantage of this offer right now, they're going to also receive an amazing bonus. I mean, the Dream Blueprint, I should mention, it's sold for $297. The people who are enrolled in the course right now have been messaging me, telling me this is worth 10 times more. I mean, like, they have gotten so much value out of it that they're just blown away by it. So it's definitely a course that's worth more than $5,000. And, you know, and the coaching itself that you will get to have with me is going to be transformational. I can really assure you of that. Okay, so we have one question here in the chat box. And it says, it comes from Russia. I'm a freelance translator from Egypt. My question is, I'm confused in terms of career. What steps or plans should I follow to know? I know everyone is different, yet I feel so confused and losing the way. So any suggestions are welcome.
So I think that it's a very deep question to ask, and you know, I can offer some general advice, but I would say that, again, you know, going through the whole process of Abundance Academy, going through the whole program, will actually take you to a natural place where you will find the answer. Because similarly, for me, when I was, you know, mashallah, I got to be a director in local government. The next stage for me was to be the chief exec, and then, you know, there is nowhere else to go because it's the highest, mashallah, the highest place that you can get to. And when I was there, I was still challenging myself, and I was saying, you know, is this the career that I really want? And how do I then take myself to know what, you know, what I want to do in terms of my working life, and how do I then balance that with my kids and everything else? And so my answer to the question is going to be, you know where your skills lie, and you know what interests you. The thing to then think about is, what do you want to do in terms of your time freedom? What do you want to do in terms of your levels of happiness? Because if the work that you're doing, if you are not excited about going to work and about the work that you're doing and the impact that you're having, then either you can relook at the purpose of the work and what it's doing for you, or for your motivations and for your legacy, etc., or you change your work. And I know that those two options can sometimes sound drastic, but the whole beauty of the Academy is that I'm going to take people through a journey where they can then actually work out the answer to questions just like that, from a place that is very, very deep and very, very authentic.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. And I just want to add something, from my perspective, besides, you know, like if you also enroll, you will also gain the, in the Dream Blueprint, what I covered, one of the first things I covered actually in the first module was gaining clarity about what you truly want in life. And everyone found that module to be super helpful because sometimes we're stuck, like Saiyyidah was saying. I mean, you might be working in a job and maybe it's not your life calling, but you don't know what it is. And then it's very difficult because you're like frustrated with yourself. You're thinking to yourself, oh my God, why haven't I found my passion in life? Because everybody talks about that, finding your passion and, all of that. And then sometimes it can be quite frustrating. But I can tell you that, that module will also, along with the Abundance Academy, that will also definitely help you get clear about what it is you truly want to do. And then definitely other modules will help as well. Now, we have another message in the chat box. It's actually a private message, and it says, would it be helpful to someone who is currently unemployed? Meaning, would the Abundance Academy be helpful for someone who's currently unemployed?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been through my own kind of phases where I've not been working and I've been trying to work out, what do I do? What are the skills that I need to implement in terms of getting a job? It's not going to teach you how to run your own business. That's a different program. It's not going to teach you the basics of how to get a job. Again, that's a different program. But I'm working on the basis that people already have these foundation skills. What this will do is it will help you to understand, and actually start to manifest these things into your life. And what I love about the word manifest is because it's about the feeling that you have of things actually happening. It is not just about you taking action and you continuously doing something and then not actually feeling as if you're getting anywhere. I want you to feel as if you are actually making moves in the right direction in terms of how you manifest wealth, your happiness, how you actually gain time freedom. And so I think it's absolutely, it's a wonderful program for anybody. And I would say whether you're unemployed, a stay-at-home mum, a student, whether you've got your own business, whether you're a career professional, all of these different scenarios, because I've been in all of those different scenarios, and what I'm teaching is a program that will respond to the needs of people in the different stages of life that they've been through. And my message, and this is why I'm giving so many different bonuses, and such awesome bonuses as well, because I couldn't put all of that into the core of Abundance Academy. And I think that's something that I really do want to stress. What you're getting in Abundance Academy is everything that you need to give you that abundant life, inshallah. The bonuses give you the opportunity to go a little bit deeper. And so, for example, if you're unemployed and you're thinking, how do I get a job? How do I start working for myself? Then there will be material in there that gives you the basics of some of that. It will also, and forgive me for going on about this one, but it's amazing, this how to get a promotion at work, the how I paid off the 450k mortgage, how to live like a millionaire for a lot less. All of those things, they really do kind of shift your mindset. And again, it's me talking about saying, we as Muslims, we as human beings should demand from life that we are not living within that poverty mindset, and this will take you out of that and take you to a mindset of thriving and flourishing and abundance.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we have, hold on, a few more messages here. Okay, guys, please do post your messages because, in the chat box we have no more. But I will go to my email right now and pull up the messages that I have received. Okay, so the question was, I want to start a business. Would the Abundance Academy help me with that?
This is not a business training, and I do have a business training coming out in a few months' time, but I have to be clear, this is not about business training. This is about how do you actually start to manifest the abundance into your life. And for me, what I'm, because I've had similar questions, and what I'm saying to individuals who ask me that is, this is like your foundation. So
Yeah.
in some ways, this is like the master's level, let's say, or the degree level that you do to take you into your MBA. Because when I teach my business program, I'm going to teach it like a practical MBA, so that when you go in there and you start your business, or you want to start small or grow your business, it's going to give you the tips and the skills and everything that you need to actually 10x the work that you're doing. But that is not what you will get here. What you will get here is everything that you need to really work out what is it that you want to do with your business. For me, it's kind of like, this is the program that I wish I had before I started my business, because I would have saved myself a good couple of years just in that whole struggle of, what is the purpose of my business? What am I doing? And, this is a later program, but when I do talk about business, one of the things I want to really discuss is, how do you not just pay zakat from your business, but how do you actually bring even more barakah into your business through applying Islamic principles, inshallah. But this is very general in that respect.
Okay, another question that we have is, at this point in my life, I feel very stressed out and don't know exactly what I want to do with the rest of my life. Will the Abundance Academy help me clarify those things?
Oh yes, it's perfect for people in that situation, because when I left my job and when I made the decision to kind of walk away from my formal career, let's say, I felt exactly the same. I mean, I would say I spent 6 months after I made that decision kind of feeling sorry for myself, wallowing and wasting time really. And having been through that and kind of really having to drag myself out of it, what I'm going to be teaching is, how do you take yourself out of that feeling of fed up? How do you actually get yourself to a place where you're not moving on in a matter of months, you're doing it in a matter of weeks. And so for this person, my advice would be, sign up. You've got your 30 days money back. If you don't feel as if you're actually moving in the right direction and kind of working out what you want to do within that 30 days, just ask for your money back. That's really all I can say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, thank you so much. I think we are pretty much okay. There's one more question that just came in from Zainab. And the question is, this might be outside of the content, but I was wondering how I can have positive mindset if I'm surrounded by family members who are really negative every day, who, for instance, don't show much support. And I'm assuming much support in terms of her endeavors.
Yeah, and similarly, I've had questions like that have come to me in my email and in my Facebook messages, and I would say it's not a simple answer. And what I don't want to do is, I don't want to rush into that answer. But what I will tell you is that Abundance Academy will help you with that, because it starts at that foundation level. When you know who you are as a person, when you know what is giving you your energy and your vitality, and what is giving you the reason to wake up and love life every single day, the negative energy and the kind of the stuff that is happening around you, you can't change that. But what you can do is, you can change your approach to it. And I'm going to be teaching tips for how you can do that. There's a whole module in here about how do we manage our psychology, how do we manage our focus, and how do you actually master clarity and influence. And within there, I'm going to be teaching a lot to do with how to deal with situations where you encounter negativity, whether it's from people or from the environment or whatever, because we're never going to change that. It's never going to go away. But I think that it's genuinely, it's your response to it that will either help you to move forward in life or you to stand still. And I would love everybody that is listening in to not just move forward, but literally, let 10x your life.
I love that. I love that so much. Thank you so much for that response. And just to also, like, again, I want to add the mindset, piece that this viewer, this listener right now just mentioned. There is also an amazing module in the Dream Blueprint. So actually, you're getting the best of both worlds here. You're gonna have access to that and to Abundance Academy just for signing up right now. So guys, take advantage. I'm not sure if you're seeing the pop-in, that is displaying right now that says sign up now to receive Yasmin's bonuses. This will not be available for long, okay? Especially the 20 seats for the coaching is going to go by very, very fast. So take advantage of that. That's a live coaching with me, a 60-minute session, just, me and you talking about the things that, that you want to accomplish in a very small group setting. So you don't want to miss that. Let me see again if we have any additional questions. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And I think we're going to wrap up very soon. Saiyyidah, any final thoughts, any final words that you would like to add?
I mean, I just really want to encourage people who are listening in to sign up, because, I know that this is a program that is radically going to change the lives of people. And I'll tell you a personal story. So I signed up for Sheikh Mohammed Al Sharif's Niche Hero program, and I was living in London at the time. This is about 5 years ago, and it was all the way in Toronto. And I went with the attitude, I'm going to make this thing work, and I'm gonna go in there, and it's going to be a life changer for me. And subhanallah, Allah facilitated that for me. And what was interesting was that the program then came to London 6 months later, and I was getting so many messages from people saying, oh, I wish you knew that it was coming to London 6 months later, you didn't need to go all the way to Toronto, etc. And my response to that was, if I had done that, if I had waited until it came to London, I would have wasted 6 months of my life. So yeah, subhanallah. And that's why, if you are thinking about signing up, don't delay, because you don't want to be in that situation where you are sending emails to our support team saying, when is it going to open up again? I really wanted to sign up, but I missed my chance. The cart closed. What can I do? Because you could be in a situation where you end up wasting 6 months, maybe even more of your life. And I would not wish that for anybody.
Absolutely. It's funny because we received the same kind of messages after the Dream Blueprint closed down. And it was definitely sad to see people frustrated that it was closed, but that's what happens, It's very important to take action when it's available, because I know that you are with the same mindset as me. You want to reward the ones who take action fast. And that's the whole idea. We want implementers, we want people who are going to take action, because those are the ones who are going to excel in these courses. Am I right?
Absolutely. And my job as the trainer here is to make sure that I serve the people who have signed up to the best of my ability. If people are still coming in and still registering after the course has started, then it's not possible to actually then focus on everybody when they're at different stages. And I really, every single week, my kind of core is going to be about what are the needs of my students, how can I make sure that they're all getting they're going on the journey that they need for them right now. And that's why I've got the private Facebook group. That's why I have 12 months of ongoing coaching, because I want to make sure that not only do I serve the people when they're doing the course, but also so that this is a sustained effort. It's not something that is just a quick win. This has the opportunity to be life-changing, and like Allah, or the Prophet Muhammad SAW encourages us to want for our brother what we want for ourselves. So I want it for you. I want you to have that change in your life that, alhamdulillah, I have had, and it can be within your grasp.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Saiyyidah, for your time. We're pretty much, approaching almost 1 hour, 50 minutes to be exact.
Wow,
there are
that's gone quick.
I know. There are a few other questions, but they're very, how should I say, they're not really related to what we've been speaking about. They're more about advice, like whether they should start a master's degree in education or not, and things like that. I don't know if you want to take very specific questions like that.
So questions like that are going to be awesome for my private Facebook group that I'm going to have for Abundance Academy. But also, you know, the whole purpose of it is so that you can take these questions and not just spend 5 minutes getting the answer from somebody that maybe has more experience in life, but actually, you know, take yourself on a journey where the answer is coming from you and it is authentic and holistic to the life that you want to lead. Because I could answer the question and I could give you an answer that would be right based on the limited information that I have and what I would do that works for me, but it might not be right for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Saida. Unless you have any concluding thoughts, I think we are, you know, ready to finish up here. And any final thoughts?
Big Jazakallah khair to you, Yasmin, for hosting this, and inshallah I'm here to serve and to really kind of start this journey of abundance with as many of your students that would like to sign up, inshallah ta'ala.
I would like to thank you. Thank you so much. May Allah reward you. Jazakallah khairan. And for those of you listening in, if you're able to see that pop in, just go ahead, and if you want to go ahead and register, go ahead and do that right now. I will also send you an email, you know, with the information if you're not able to see that information here on your screen right now. The replay will be available as soon as this video is uploaded onto YouTube, and I will send that as an email today. So if you're on my list, then you're going to receive it. And thank you so much all for being here. I appreciate you. And inshallah, talk to you all very, very soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.